This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Nothing less than a new world order. This is the pledge of the world's most powerful leaders, representing 90% of the global economy. Thursday's G20 summit, they say, has changed the rules of the game.
People dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. We've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
I appeared before the Congressional Committee to tell what I knew of activities which might lead to an attempt to set up a fascist dictatorship.
The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
President Bush signed a formal agreement that will end the United States as we know it. And he took the step without approval from either the U.S. Congress or the people of the United States.
The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret.
It's known as the Bilderberg Group. Could their objective be world domination?
Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. Welcome everybody to the Dan Bidondi Show, our nightly news edition. So today is September 28th, 2022, our last news show of the month of September. Actually, Friday will be. But anyway, who blew up the Nord pipeline? We're going to talk about that. The Russian pipeline that just blew up yesterday. There's a lot of controversy. Some people think the United States staged it, or Ukraine or Russians pulling some crazy stuff. Who knows? But we're going to talk about that. And Rhode Island governor candidates exposed. We're going to talk about that in the second half of the show. And Hurricane Ian to hit Florida. And we got other news to talk about more. So, like always, this is crazy stuff, guys. So, the second half of the show, we're going to go on Rumble. And because the stuff we're going to talk about, you can't talk about on YouTube. So, which will be the second hour. So, what I'll do is I'll put the link in the chat room and everything else. And you guys can join me on Rumble. And plus, there's another way to build up our Rumble channel too, because Rumble, unlike YouTube, they honor free speech. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to talk about the Rhode Island governor candidates in the second half of the show, and a lot of crazy stuff, man. We got a tyrant of a governor now as a Democrat, and we got paid opposition being posed as the Republican nomination. So, and of course our buddy Paul Rhiannon Jr., who's an independent governor candidate here for Rhode Island. So we got all that to talk about then, and also some Koofy juice stuff. Okay, and I just want to promote my friend's show here. It's the Tony Jones Show. So you can actually look it up online. I forgot to put the link in there, but he gave me one of his shirts. Yeah, he's a good long-time friend of mine. He actually used to occupy the studio, too. But Tony Jones, so it's Tony Jones Radio. So, yeah, look him up on YouTube and everything else. So I just want to promote him. He does an alternative show and everything, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, man, we got so much to talk about, and so like usual, want to thank awesome carriers, ShakeandWakeRadio.com, who carry the show on the audio edition, and thank you, Annie, for that, and also BeforeIt'sNews.com. I'm a contributor writer for them, so check them out. And coming up this Friday, guys, our Spiritual Warfare Friday show at 10 p.m. Eastern is me and Brian Reese, and we're gonna have a special guest, Trey Harris from Course Correction Radio. So we're going to talk about Prophets of Avalon, Rise of the Grail Bloodline, and Spiritual Warfare Friday. So Prophets of Avalon, the Rise of the Grail Bloodline, and false messiahs. So it's going to bring up his false messiahs, false Christ, whatever the case. And you got this clown here saying, hey, which is being promoted by QAnon to say he's the true rightful heir of the throne of Britain, whatever the case. So we're going to talk about that, and he also claims to be a messiah. So, yeah, unbelievable stuff. So, yeah, we'll get into that then. So, man, I tell you, crazy stuff in the news. So, if you hear this, DART, which is NASA's satellite that supposedly crashed into an asteroid. So, to blow a piece of the asteroid up and whatever the case, but it's crazy. So, DART watched NASA smash into an asteroid during its first planetary defense test mission. It was live yesterday. So, 65 million years ago, an asteroid struck the Earth. How do they know that? I mean, that pisses me off beyond anything. How do they know 65? Give me a break, seriously. Then you have some goof scientists say, every 25,000 years an asteroid strikes. How do you know that? You don't know that. And I'm not saying they don't strike the Earth. I'm not at all. I'm just saying, how do you know every 25,000 years? I can see if mankind was existing 25 years ago and we recorded it, then we could go by something, right? Then they say, 65 million years ago, an asteroid, this would destroy the dinosaurs. That's idiotic. How would they get underground? How would we have crude oil? It's so dumb. These people make up this crap and they call it science. Science is something you could observe and demonstrate. That's the definition of science. Charles Darwin himself said the same thing. And then people took his work and just construed it to make it called evolution. It's dumb, plain and simple. It's pure stupidity. Even when I was indoctrinated pure with science, guys, and none of this made sense ever. But that's NASA for you. And a Nazi-funded space agency from Operation Paperclip. So, yeah, so they said 7:14 p.m. Eastern Time, the DART spacecraft will intentionally collide with asteroid Dimorphos in a test to see if humans can change the asteroid's trajectory. So this actually happened yesterday, and the technique could be used in the future to divert dangerous space rocks. So they actually, supposedly this did happen. I mean, I was watching a video and it showed the impact, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to believe anything that comes from the government. Really it is. And I'm not saying there's no asteroids or anything like that. I'm just saying, and they said it was going to take a while, even though they supposedly got all these telescopes that were homing in on it to watch the collision and all that stuff and see if it changed the trajectory. They said it's going to take about a month or so to get the footage out to the public. So basically a month or so to put this on CGI and edit it. That's what that is. It's just dumb, it really is. And the people buying to this crap without even thinking. That's the thing. They take your thinking process away and to say you better believe what we tell you, and that's it. And and I'm not saying asteroids are not real. I have to say that again. I'm just saying, man, that this is just dumb. The stupidity that comes out of these people's mouths. It really is. And I don't even buy this, to tell you the truth, but whatever the case. $35 million to send, of our taxpayers' money, I think it's $35 million to send something to an asteroid to blow it up. Yeah, just like that, $35 million. And by the way, guys, if you notice this little icon here, it's called Kofi. It's a Kofi, it's like a super chat thing, so actually forgot to put that up. So hang on one second, guys. That's like a super chat because what it does is hang on, put this in the chat room. Yeah, this here. Hang on a second. This here is a super chat. So basically, when you drop a couple bucks or whatever you want to drop here in the chat room, you get your message out there and your name up on the show here. So this is I've just put it in the chat room here, and I pinned it here. So if anybody wants to drop a couple bucks and help out the organization here and our ministries and all that, please feel free to do so. And if you want to put a message there, it'll pop up on the screen. You'll see it just come up on the screen. It's pretty cool. So, and it looks something. Oops, hang on a second. It looks something like this here. Let me get this going. And where is it? So it would look like something like this. And you have that, and it pops up there. And it has your name in your message if you want to say anything. Or if you want to be anonymous, that's cool too. But it's a pretty cool feature because we're not monetized with YouTube. As you know, YouTube demonetized us. So, and you get to block my face with your message. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, if you guys want to drop a couple bucks, go for it. And the best thing, like I say all the time, is pray for us and like, share, and subscribe. If you can't, don't worry about it. So anyway, yeah. So NASA's like, yeah, we're gonna smash $35 million into a rock. If they even did it, it's ridiculous. It really is. But whatever. I mean, could they possibly divert something that big? Who knows? You know what I mean? And it's kind of ridiculous if you ask me. So switching gears here, UMass football will celebrate Gay Pride during home game versus Liberty University. So the University of Massachusetts Minutemen football team will celebrate Gay Pride during the upcoming October 8th home game against the Liberty Flames of Virginia's Evangelical Liberty University. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, because Evangelical, which is a Christian liberty university, founded by famed evangelist Jerry Falwell, Liberty is one of the largest Christian universities in the world and frequent target of open anti-Christian left. So despite this, the school boasts its succession of Division I football program, which far more than the UMass can say for itself. So I guess this has to be targeted because they got to do this Gay Pride thing. Now, mind you, it's October, it's not June, right? So they're going to do this Gay Pride thing festivals before the game with this Evangelical Liberty University. And according to special announcements made by the social media UMass Football's verified account, the game versus Liberty on October 8th will be a Pride Day, included and post several rainbow flag emojis and link to purchase tickets. So I think that's like deliberately, trying to rub the crap in their face. You know what I mean? That really is. And the thing is, keep the crap off the football field, man. You don't need politics or this crap on, what I mean? People want to go to a game to watch football. You know what I mean? They don't give a crap about your political, what sex you think you are or what, political party you belong to. They want to watch a football game. You know what I mean? And again, this is attack. That's all that is. Because why wouldn't they do this any other game? But they got to do it when they play Virginia's Evangelical Liberty University. It's a Christian university, plain and simple. So they got to purposely do that. That's what they're doing. And that's the University of Massachusetts doing that. And they got to purposely do that, wait, just for that one game to do that. They couldn't do that any other game, right? It's disgusting, really is. That's the tweet right there. Special announcement, game versus Liberty on October Pride Day. Let me see. Disgusting. There you go. It is disgusting. It really is. And they got to pick that day to do that. It's just ridiculous. Really is. Let me see. That's the ad here. Oh, look. Oh, look. Look how much rub in the face that is. Look, he's wearing a cross in number 7. You guys see it? You can't make this stuff up. Look, that's the Massachusetts team, right? The UMass football team, right? That's doing the Pride thing, right? He's wearing a cross and has number 7 on him. That's a... If that's not an attack, guys, I don't know what the hell that is. It really is. I don't know, man. This country's going to hell, if you ask me, man. So 22 lawmakers demand Merrick Garland explain alleged FBI SWAT raid on Catholic pro-life activist Mark Hook. So we talked about that last week. As many as 22 lawmakers have called upon Attorney General Merrick Garland to provide an explanation as to why the FBI allegedly sent 25 to 30 fully armed agents to arrest a Catholic pro-life activist Mark Hook as his screaming children watched in horror. So to bring this back up again, what happened was the other day, this guy, he was an activist, right? He had his group at an abortion clinic, right? They didn't do no harm, no violence, nothing like that, right? Allegedly, they blocked the way of somebody getting into the abortion clinic, right? So normally that would be the police be like, hey, get out of the way. You know what I mean? You can't obstruct the walkway, right? That's not a federal issue, right? That's all he did. And so he got his door kicked in by 30 armed FBI thugs, pointing guns at the kids and everything else. The kids are screaming in horror and all that. All because of that. It is utterly sickening, you know what I mean? And people have their views on abortion, whatever the case, but yeah, still, it doesn't matter. You know, if you did something bad, you blew something up or of course, violently, he didn't do any of the thing. So the FBI, like, by Merrick Garland, that ordered the FBI to go kick his door in and SWAT his house. You know, pointing guns and scaring the hell out of the kids and all that, just because he allegedly obstruct the walkway of the abortion clinic when they were protesting. And the Catholics have been protesting abortion forever. You know what I mean? They've always been at abortion clinics and other groups too. And there's no violence. You know what I mean? So they kick his door in, 30 FBI agents. But yeah, you know, they don't go kick the doors into the people who have been destroying the pro-life centers. You know, firebombing it, attacking people, killing cops, burning half the country down, you know, a couple years for now. And no, not one door's been kicked in or nothing like that. No indictments. But yeah, if you're out there on January 6th or you're a pro-life activist, yeah, I guess you're a terrorist to the government. Because you don't believe in killing babies, yeah, well, you're a terrorist. Unbelievable. And Cuba, without electricity, after hurricane hammers power grid. So we got this hurricane coming up. It was a tropical storm, now it's a hurricane Ian. So it just like ransacked Cuba, and it's heading straight toward Florida, and I guess Florida right now. And I think somebody in the chat room here is from Florida. So whoever's from Florida, guys, send prayers and everything out to you guys. And, you know, I just hope and pray that you guys don't get hammered bad, you know. And I understand, you know, Western Florida, I believe, is getting hit pretty hard with, you know, right now, tropical storms. It's going to come to a hurricane, whatever the case. But Hurricane Ian has knocked out power across all of Cuba and devastating homes of the country's most important tobacco farms, and it slammed into the island's western tip of the major hurricane. So that's crazy, man. And Hurricane Ian knocked out power across all of Cuba, they're saying. And Cuba's electric union said in a statement that works was underway to gradually restore service to the country's 11 million people during the night. And power was initially knocked out about 1 million people in Cuba without power. So prayers out to the people in Cuba and all over that area that's getting hit by this hurricane. You know, look at the waves, man. That's right in somebody's house, dude, too. That's crazy, man. And Florida goes under. So monstrous 18-foot storm surge swallows Fort Myers and leaves hundreds of families clinging to the rooftop. And record-breaking Hurricane Ian leaves 1 million people without power, sends tsunami and flood waters crashing up on the West Coast. So there's the little radar right there. And I don't know what's doing it right now, but this was happening in Fort Myers. It's like literally underwater. And my buddy Dan in the chat room, DJ G, he actually brought something to my attention, which I was kind of pondering upon. But he's like, yeah, could this be weather weapons? Because Florida is, you know, kicking the immigrants out. They're standing against the government, whatever the case. Could this be some kind of weather weapon? You know what I mean? I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I kind of believe it. You know what I mean? So they're saying, terrifying moment, intrepid weatherman braves 155-mile-an-hour wind and hit by a branch while covering Hurricane Ian's rampage to Florida. So that's crazy, man. Remember the other one? Years ago, they had this. It became a popular meme. You know, people hanging onto a pole, and it was a news broadcaster doing that to dramatize what was going on at the time. And there was no winds like that. And it's funny because he's hanging onto the pole and acting like it was heavy winds, and you see two people walking behind him all nonchalantly, looking at him like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" And he goes, "We got heavy winds over here." You know what I mean? That was you know, fake media, but yeah, obviously this is not fake. That's crazy, man. So prayers out to the people in Florida, 155 miles an hour. Cuba in Florida, I should say. That's crazy, man. So if anybody in the chat room is from Florida, and just let me know what part of Florida you're from, and also what's going on, how the weather is, and all that stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be crazy. So a survey says that nearly 7 out of 10 Americans searching for extra work due to surging inflation. You know, it's kind of funny though. They say people who are searching for, they're working, right? More people working. But everywhere you go, you see now hiring. I talk to restaurant owners and store owners and all that stuff, and they can't hire people. No matter how much they jack the rate up, nobody wants to work. It's like that here in Rhode. I don't know how it's anywhere else. But people are freaking lazy in the state. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to work. There's hiring signs all over the place. Burger King, of all places, is paying $15, $16 an hour. You know what I mean? Plus benefits and all that. And bonuses just to get people in the door. You know what I mean? And nobody's hiring. You know what I mean? And you got these people standing outside in the corner with signs, and half of them not even really homeless. And I'm like, dude, go up the street. You get like $20 an hour just to stand there. You know, it's ridiculous. But I don't know what's going on, man. They're saying like people out of work and whatever. Everybody's hiring, but nobody's working. It's crazy. There's a restaurant, there's a Top of the Bay restaurant in Warwick, Rhode Island, the Oakland Beach area. It's a pretty decent restaurant. You know, they're going out of business because they can't hire people. Nobody wants to work. That's what happens with socialism, guys. They're trying to turn us into a socialist country. Don't worry, stay at home. We'll pay you. And if you're illegal something, we'll give you all the benefits you need. Don't worry about nothing. And meanwhile, people own businesses can't keep the doors open because they can't hire people. There's some stores that used to be open 24 hours, but they cut the third shift because they can't hire people. Nobody wants to work. You know what I mean? So a majority of Americans say they are being forced to search for extra work as inflation increases the cost of living. So according to a recent survey by Blue Crew, a workforce service platform, 69% of Americans say they are actively looking for extra hours, while 68% say they are reevaluating their current work situation. And it says 72% of Americans say inflation has impacted how they view their job, and 57% said they sought new additional roles in the past year. The cost of living has ballooned since 2021 under the Biden administration. So that's the mockings of socialism right there. You know what I mean? And I don't know how it is in your states, guys. Let me know in the chat there. But yeah, everywhere you go, it's hiring signs everywhere. And, people actually paying extra money just to get somebody in the door. Yeah, it's crazy. Let me look in the chat here, see if anybody... Yeah, so I think there's somebody from here, a couple of people from Florida, so... Yeah, so anybody from Florida, guys, just put, in the chat room there what's going on in Florida. So I pray for you guys' safety and everything else. So yeah, this is like all over the country, I believe. I don't know, man. And but anyway, people are working double time, overtime, whatever the case, just pay for stuff, and it's ridiculous. The gas prices, they only came down a little bit because of the elections. They're still almost $2 more than they were 2 years ago, a gallon, so, and we called that, like with the gas prices would come down right before the elections, just in the nick of time, right? Yeah. So, pending who wins, either way, I think that, as soon as elections are over, the gas prices are going to go hit the roof, and they'll come up with some lame cockamamie excuse, blame Russia for or something like that. Because the gas prices, because I guess it's Putin. Somehow it's Putin's fault that the gas prices in the United States are high. When we got our own oil fields that can last hundreds of years. And the thing is, in the earth, the oil regenerates, you know what I mean? So it's a thing you don't run out of, It's ridiculous, whatever the case. So, video here, Powell calls for increased cryptocurrency regulation amidst government-led crypto will not be anonymous. And I believe that's Jerome Powell. Yeah, he's the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. He admitted that the United States Central Bank digital currency, that's the CBDC, will not be anonymous. So if you don't know what that is, that's like what Bitcoin is right now. It's digital currency. So it's cashless society. So what they're saying is they're going to regulate, plain and simple. So Jerome Powell made the revelation while speaking at the event hosted by the Bank of France on Tuesday. Powell has also made calls for increasing government regulation on cryptocurrency as it becomes more of a threat to the centralized economy of the United States. And we've been on the money with this whole thing. You know, people say, well, you get into Bitcoin, we can move away from the centralized government, you know, the currency there. Now, that Bitcoin is, in my case, you know, I really believe it's a fraud, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying people not making money because my cousin made $1 million off Bitcoin, you know what I mean? So, but it's a beta test. That's all it was, to put out to see how people react to a cryptocurrency, a digital, you know, cashless society, and get people to the use the idea of such a society, right? In the meantime, they're telling people, oh, it's a way to fight back against the centralized currency of the United States. You know what I mean? So they get truthers on board to, you know, go along with it. You know what I mean? But the thing is, when they push the digital currency for the United States of America, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, whatever you have, that's going to be regulated and eventually shut down. You know what I mean? People say, oh, they can't do that. Yeah, they can do that. Anything to do with money, which you know, when you think you know about Bitcoin, you don't, you know what I mean? Because these people control all that. They're the ones who put the stuff out. It's a beta test, a pilot program they call it. So they can work out all the bugs and kinks and everything else, and they see how it prospered, which Bitcoin is prospering, and it actually fell for a while, like we said it was going to fall. Then it's coming back up a tiny bit, but the thing is, they're going to shut it off, plain and simple. They're going to shut it down, shut it off, and push their digital currency. You know what I mean? That's where it's going to go. It's a cashless society, no more coins. That's why they're doing the coin shortage, too. And it's not the mint doesn't make the coins anymore. It's just that big banks are not redistributing it because they want to take the hard cash off the market much as possible. So when they transfer into the digital currency society, it's going to be less of a pain in the butt. You know what I mean? So basically, you would give so much time, I guess, to bring your cash or your coins, whatever the case, to the bank to get them transferred into your digital account. You know what I mean? So basically, if you have, 40 grand in your bank savings account, right? That 40 grand, you can no longer go to an ATM and pull out cash. You know what I mean? It's got to be all digital. You know what I mean? And we're already into that now, basically, with the cards and the apps and everything on the phones and all that stuff. So, but yeah, they want to eliminate cash. And what's the dangers of that? And yeah, I mean, granted, it'd be harder to steal. And not for a hacker, though, but it would be harder to steal. But what the dangers of that is you know what I mean? They're going to regulate you, plain and simple. And you can pay Joe Schmo $40 to fix your brakes on your car and be like, well, he's not a certified mechanic. Yeah, we're going to suspend your registration until you bring your car to a certified mechanic. And guess what? We're going to tax Joe Schmo as an income. Yeah, and it goes, I mean, far beyond that. And you can give your brother $50 just for the heck of it without them taxing you and him for it. You know what I mean? And it completely puts the stamps down on anything to do with money. You can we have the cash apps and all that. Right now, I could somebody says, yeah, he is $50, or my brother needs $10 for something. You know what I mean? They could switch it over to him. Then they're gonna say, oh wait a minute. When they regulate it all, they'll be like, oh wait a minute, you're gonna have to tax you on the $10. You know what I mean? And it's gonna go that route. They're gonna micromanage everything, and everything you do is gonna be under the radar. That's the dangers of a cryptocurrency. And the Bahamas has got theirs. It's called the sand dollar. China's pushing it. All the world's economies are pushing toward a digital currency. And then when it goes to a digital currency all worldwide, guess what? It's all going to go to one big bank. No more Federal Reserve, no more pound, British pound, anything like that. It's going to be all on one central database, basically, of the World Bank. It's going to be a one world currency. And the thing is, they're waiting for the digital transformation because right now, if they move to one world currency, right, we went to go change our money in, oh man, it'll be a nightmare. It would cost billions of dollars for them to print new cash, new coins and everything else and transfer them. So they want to take all this stuff off the market, make it digital. So now it will only be a matter of keystrokes to switch our money from the Federal Reserve System over to the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and the World Banks. You know what I mean? So that's what they're doing. And that's why they're centralizing all small banks. They're consolidating them, I'm sorry. So anyway, calls for violence against Republicans intensifies as midterms near, one teen already dead as liberals continue their march towards a civil war. So yeah, they're calling for, the left is calling for a civil war. And I'm an independent, guys, but the violent rhetoric from the left, the media, the Biden regime, and Democratic politicians have increasingly exponentially over the past months, and we're not noting that even bigger uptick of the course of the last few weeks since Joe Biden declared in the entire country that mega Republicans were a threat to democracy in a soul over nation speech. And I'm going to say it one more time. And I'll say I'm a threat to democracy, absolutely. And a big-time threat to it, because we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. I have to keep saying that, because every day you hear on the news, a teacher comes out, or people on the news, a politician come out and say, "Oh, democracy." Even Trump said it. "Oh, democracy." We're not a damn democracy. We're a constitutional republic. A democracy leads to communism. You know what I mean? It doesn't support everybody's rights. A constitutional republic supports everybody's individual rights, not a democracy. It's ruled by mob law. That's what that is. So, anyway, saying, "Oh, Trump supporters are representing extremism and threatens the very foundations of the republic." So, and then you find he acknowledges that we're a republic. Yeah, all right. So Biden said, "The mega Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They recognize only the will of the people. They don't recognize the will of the people." Well, actually, that's kind of the other way around. Because, I mean, again, I'm not Trump worship or whatever, but I do got to say that most Trump supporters, everyone I've met actually, love the Constitution. And here's the thing too. How has he got the goal to say they don't respect the Constitution? Right to life, okay, gun rights, free speech, states' rights, individual rights. That's what the Constitution's about, right? And he said, mega supporters don't support that, right? The Constitution, but they push gun rights, free speech, all this other stuff, right? In the meantime, his people like to attack the right to life. They like to attack gun rights. They like to attack free speech and everything else, right? So I think it's the other way around. So Biden's just saying, calling them the threat because they're the ones that are the threats, you know what I mean? And trying to reverse it to say that, you know what I mean? It's just political games. That's what it is. In the meantime, you got people fighting with each other. And that's what pisses me off too, man. Like, you got Democrats and Republicans out there. Like, they'll stand out there at the polls, you know what I mean? One corner, they got the Republicans supporting Trump. The other one's Biden, ready to kill each other over what, you know what I mean? And not either people on either side, you know what I mean, has no idea they've been duped. They're brainwashed, they're following this garbage. That's what that is, you know what I mean? So liberals' wave of terminology away from campaign rhetoric, but make no mistake, that was called to arms by a desperate regime that fully understands that midterm elections are a referendum, and Joe Biden's job performance, which is still underwater, will lose control of Congress. So basically, you get, like I said, next month coming up, we got the midterms coming up. So that's most of Congress and the Senate. So that's the House and Senate, they call it. And so they're up for vote. So what's going to happen is, if these things, especially Congress, there's many Congress, all the Congress seats are up actually this year. So if these things get flipped over to the red, I mean, they're worried about that, because right now we got a blue. Everything's blue. You know what I mean? It means Democratic controlled. They don't want that. It should be equal. You ask me, it should be equal, and this way. And it should be something in the middle too, like what the Supreme Court's supposed to do. Make sure everything's in the confines of the Constitution. You know what I mean? But it's like it goes both ways in this country. So Bill Gates makes concerning statements about election and civil war. So, all right. So now all of a sudden Bill Gates is an expert. Mind you, he has no medical degree, but he gives medical advice, right? He's a computer engineer. So, and now I guess he's no political background at all, but now he's concerned about statements about the election and civil war. So Forbes just did an interview with Bill Gates and reveals that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation aims to run just for 25 more years. But it was odd title since he said during the interview was astonishing. He would have been alleged something any reporter would have pressed to him, which Forbes seemed, to treat us as a side. So Bill Gates is worried about domestic polarization in the United States, which he sees little hope for a short term, and he says, "I admit that political polarization may bring an end to it all. And we're going to have a huge election and civil war," he said. "I have no expertise in that." Well, I'm glad he actually admitted that. Yeah, he has no expertise in that. So credit to Bill Gates for change anyway. So I'm not going to divert my money to that because I wouldn't know how to spend it. All right, so yeah, for once in my life, I got to credit Bill Gates. He actually admitted, okay, he has no expertise in this area. So, but he says he's going to pull his money basically because he doesn't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So for once in my life, probably you got to credit Bill Gates for that. You know what I mean? So, but for him, you know, with his organization, you know, everybody's, you know, this is all financial too, man, because like, when the Vatican, the Pope's pulling all the money to the Holy See. You know what I mean? Because they had investments in other banks. They pull them all back to the Holy See again because something's coming around the corner. You know what I mean? And financially. And then you're starting to see all the writings on the wall. And I'm not going to go out and say, oh, it's a whole economic crime. I mean, it's heading toward that way. And I'm not going to say it's going to be a September, October surprise crap. You got people out there in the media, you know, the alternative media do that every year. Oh, the September, October surprise, this is going to happen. And when November rolls around, nothing happens. Yeah, they look like jackasses. But we know that, you know, that's the plan is to crash the economy. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. So, and at least 2 gunmen opened fire on high school football players in Philadelphia. Oh, yeah, by the way, Philadelphia is what? A strict gun-free zone. Philadelphia ain't like Chicago, but it's up there. Up there with New York, Hartford, Connecticut, and Los Angeles, California, and all that. So these 2 gunmen opened fire on football players following a scrimmage between Roxborough High School and Northeast High School on Tuesday afternoon. And it was about 4:45 p.m. So, yeah, one of 4 football players shot near Roxbury High School was taken to Temple Hospital, and a 17-year-old was shot in the arm and the leg, and he's stable. So, sounds like a gang thing to me because when I was in high school, I went to Central Falls High School in Rhode Island, and the thing is, it was ridiculous, right? A kid from another city came to the game, right, the basketball game. He had a gun in his coat, right? And I guess a gun fell out and went off. So the principal made a rule in the school that we couldn't wear our coats in school. Nobody was allowed to wear your coats in school. You came in school, you had to put them in your locker right away. So, you know, we all had to pay for something that somebody else did from another city. I rebelled against that big time, but because I said it was bullcrap, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's what goes on. But, yeah, and it was a gang issue. It was, I guess, like something got heated up and the guy got into a fight. The gun fell out of his pocket, went off, and... yeah, and so everybody else had to pay for it, you know. But that's what it usually is when it comes to schools like that, is, you know, a gang issue. That's what it is. So a couple people got shot there, and which looks like a gang related incident. It wasn't no mass shooter and like somebody come out and start shooting, spraying people. So, but anyway, prayers to the people on that team there and the victims, whatever the case. And, of course, they'll use that, oh, we need gun control, even though Philadelphia is one of the strictest gun controls in the country. Yeah, I think it's in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. So Joe Biden cites completely made-up facts to promote gun control. Claims, you know, it's funny, I love when these people talk because it's just so hilarious. It really is. It makes me laugh my butt off when they come out with this stupidity. And anybody that owns guns, has been around guns, you got to sit there and laugh. And it's funny when the Senate and committee meetings at the State House, when these anti-gunners come up with their facts, right? And everybody laughs. And then the person in charge of them, you know, the meeting there has to, you know, order, you know, but because it's just funny, you know what I mean? It really is. But he claims the AR-15 bullets travel 5 times as rapidly as a bullet shot out of the gun. So I guess, and AR-15 bullets travel 5 times as rapidly as a bullet shot out of any other gun. Really? You show me an AR-15 that does that, and I'm sure everybody in the gun world would love to have that AR-15. I have an AR-15. Okay, I got a Ruger AR-15, right? And it shoots both 5.56, 223, so which is basically the same thing. It's the size of hole is the size of a 22. So you mean to tell me, okay, that the bullets coming out of the AR-15 is 5 times rapidly? What does that even mean anyway? 5 times as rapidly. What does that even mean? You know what I mean? But 5 times of anything. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about, to tell you the truth. And I don't think he does. With the stupidity. You know what I mean? And then he's like, oh, nobody should have high capacity clips in the magazine. How do you have a clip in your magazine? These or fully semi-automatics. It's either full or semi. Not fully semi-automatic, and the stupidity comes out of their mouths. So Joe Biden repeatedly has claimed that the AR-15 rifles need to be banned in America, part of his gun control agenda, because the bullet of an AR-15 travels 5 times as rapidly as a bullet shot of any other gun. So they claim, 5 times as rapidly, right? So this here is a 45 ACP, right? So for safety reasons, clear. Okay, so the AR-15 bullet, like I said, it's like this, right? This is a 45. It's a Horn 80 defense round right there, which is a dangerous round. It just goes in and it mushrooms. You know what I mean? But yeah, he wants us to believe that it travels 5 times more than this. Yeah. I wish, but yeah, it doesn't. These people are dumb when it comes to guns, man. They really are, because yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. You gotta laugh at these people, but the thing is, people out there believe this crap because they don't know nothing about guns. So of course they gotta, well, the president said, no, it's not true. But it turns out, like his wild and false claims, certain weapons are banned from private ownership at the ratification of the Second Amendment. He's wrong about that too, because he's trying to say, certain weapons were banned when they ratified the Second Amendment. No, that's not true. The 1791, that's when the Second Amendment was ratified as part of the 10 amendments of the Bill of Rights, right? No such thing happened, all right? There was no weapons banned from people, private ownership, or anything like that upon ratification. I'm not an expert in American history, but I'm a novice. I'm pretty good with second, especially constitutional rights, civics they call it. You know what I mean? So that never happened. They didn't ban anything at all from any kind of ownership from anything to do with firearms. So, Field and Stream study on 5 fastest rifle cartridges, in fact, listed 5 products. So they did, the five most fastest, rifle cartridges was the bullets, right? And the AR-15 bullets, which is 223 or 556, doesn't even come in the top 5. So he's trying to say, they're 5 times rapidly as more than any other gun. Oh yeah, the other stupidity came out too. It was funny, right? They said that the exit wound of a 556 223 AR-15, right, is the size of a basketball. I wish it was like that, but it's not. It's like this little hole, right, like real small, like a 22 bullet. Enter room and the exit wound is the same thing. You just gotta just shake your head at the stupidity. And the thing is, again, most people believe in this stuff, but yeah, anybody who knows anything about guns knows damn well this guy's an idiot. So the column pointed out that even the Washington Post, of all people, called out Biden's repeated velocity claim bungled and factually incorrect. And the AR-15 is only a slight faster than most hunting rifles. It's only slightly faster than most hunting rifles. But Biden's trying to say it's fast, 5 times faster, not just faster, 5 times faster than any other gun. So you mean it's going to be 5 times faster than the Barrett 50 caliber or a Browner 50 caliber? Yeah. This guy's smoking something, I'll tell you that. But he'll go out with the stupidity, right? And people say, oh my God, people shouldn't have that. And, people don't know any better. People shouldn't have weapons of war. An AR-15 is not a weapon of war. Even if it was, I mean, you have a right to carry that. You have a right to own that and defend yourself with that. And AR-15 is the most popular rifle out there now. There's millions of them out there. How the hell are you going to take millions of... You can't, and you won't. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You can try to regulate them all you want. Nobody's going to give them up. So Texas to Biden on gun control, come and take it. So this was a message to Joe Biden, the state of Texas. So Republicans in Texas have a message for Joe Biden in response to his demands that many weapons to be banned. And for those who are not familiar with the Texas history, a report in the Center Square adds some detail. So we're going to be talking about this in a little bit here. Joe Biden blew up the Northern Pipeline or whatever. But anyway, the phrase known to Texans and rallying cry that sparked the Texas Revolution was October 2nd, 1835 in the Gonzales, Texas. The Mexican army attempted to take a small cannon that largely ineffectively but used a scare tactic and thwart Comanche raids, and Texans were giving up anything. They were not going to give up anything without a fight, and that fight ultimately ended in an 18-minute battle in San Janica on April 21st, 1836. So they went to go confiscate a cannon. That was a whole thing in Gonzales, Texas, a cannon. And the Texans said, no, you're not taking crap. So they brought that back up. You know what I mean? So the newest response from Texas party to Biden's continuous vows to ban so-called assault rifles, right? So he recently said that on social media, it's time we ban assault weapons in this country, right? And which the Texas party says, come and take it. Come and try it. And Texas legislature recently passed a permitless carry bill that was last June, a year ago, so over a year now. Basically, you don't need a permit to carry a gun in Texas, and you shouldn't need one. You know what I mean? So the Texas GOP platform suggests that the state legislature in Congress to repeal and nullify National Firearms Act of 1934 and the Gun Control Act of 1968. So basically saying people, you have a Second Amendment right to carry. All right, and you can carry without a permit. You know what I mean? That's the way it should be all over the country. 25 states right now have permitless carry. So it's either open or concealed without a permit. That's the way it should be. You know what I mean? And and those states have pretty very low crime rates. Because who the hell's gonna if you're a criminal and you go into a state or a city that's very gun friendly, and you see people walking around with guns and everything, who are you gonna rob? Yeah, you're not gonna rob nobody without getting shot. But you got places like Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Los Angeles, and when the normal citizen has to pull teeth to even get a gun, let alone to be able to carry one for defense, and the criminals run around everywhere, they have their free reign. So we move on to the pipelines now. So they're saying, did the U.S. blow up Russian gas pipelines in Nord Stream 1 and 2, says former Polish defense minister. So this defense minister is blaming the United States for it. So this was this big two pipelines in Russia. So Der Spiegel says CIA warned German government of potential sabotage weeks ago. So, of course, you got to have everybody blaming everybody, for this disaster. So former Polish defense minister Radek Shakura, I hope I didn't butcher his name, but whatever, has attributed to the United States the sabotage of two pipelines, Nord Stream 1 and 2, which carry natural gas from Russia to Germany. And thank you, USA, Sikorsky wrote on Twitter. Sikorsky was a minister in national defense from 2005 to 2007 and served as deputy minister of the national defense and deputy minister of foreign affairs previously, and he is currently an elected member of the European Parliament. So as Nord Stream 1 and 2 lie in the bed of the Baltic Sea, and Nord Stream 2 was finished last year, but Germany never opened it up because Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th. So, long story short, the two pipelines blew up, and now everybody's pointing fingers at each other. You got the German defense minister here saying the United States did this to sabotage. Then you got people saying it was Ukraine. You got people saying Russia did it themselves. You know what I mean? So you're going to have all kinds of mixed reviews. We don't know who did it. I mean, it could be anybody. And I would not put it past like NATO or something from doing this. So this is his tweet. Russian propaganda instantly launched a smear campaign against Poland and the U.S. and Ukraine, accusing the West of aggression against the pipelines 1 and 2, authenticating the Russia lies at the particular moment jeopardizes the security of Poland. What an act of gross responsibility. So this is somebody from Poland saying that. So, of course, you got people pointing the fingers now. Biden's saying, basically, if Russia invades, then we will no longer be Nord Stream 1 and 2. We will bring an end to it. So, so you got everybody pointing fingers who blew these pipelines up. Is it Russia? Is it the United States? Is it Ukraine? Is it Poland? Is it NATO? Nobody knows. You know what I mean? But the thing is, they're doing this purposely to provoke this war. And I think all sides are equally guilty, man. I really do. Because they try to push a World War III, and they're going to push a new world order. That's out of that, out of the chaos is the order, order out of chaos. So you got Daily Mail say, did Putin's frogmen blow up the European gas pipelines? And Western leaders blame deliberately sabotage after Nord Stream pipelines from Russia ruptured off Sweden's, causing 3,000-foot wide bubbles and sending prices spiking. So the gas, that's natural gas. So of course the prices went through the roof. And that's the bubble right there. That's crazy. 3 miles. That's huge. So again, everybody's blaming everybody. You know what I mean? And 3 leaks were reported in Nord Stream 1 and 2 in the Danish island last night and then this morning. And as the Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, said that her government believes that the leaks were caused by deliberate actions. And Ukraine also pointed the finger at Moscow, describing the incident as a terrorist attack, an act of aggression. And Leviathan Defense Minister has called on NATO and European Union's members states to joint investigate the pipelines and the blast. So, and again, you got the German Defense Minister saying that they believe it was the United States that did this. Yeah, so everybody's pointing the fingers to everybody who blew these pipelines up. So with the significance of this is that there was a major distributor of natural gas. That's what people use to heat their homes and everything else. So yeah, and plus the winter now coming. Yeah, we're just in the nick of time, right? And it's going to take them forever. Another chance. What it does too is if a chance for them to raise the prices and on top of it escalate more toward war. That's what it is. So German government thinks Russia gas pipeline could have been deliberately sabotaged, and we just talked about that. So it's another article on it. And Tagesspiegel newspaper reports a sudden loss of pressure in 3 natural gas pipelines between Russia and Germany is likely to have been targeted attack carried out by either Russia or the Ukraine. So, yeah, here we go. The Germany now, they think it's either Russia or Ukraine that did this. So, like I said, everybody's pointing fingers, and yeah, did Biden's people do it? This one, who knows? Who knows? So, yeah, that's kind of crazy, man. So, we're going to do, guys, we're going to go to our, in the minute here. So, we're going to go to our Rumble channel in just a minute here because we got some news we want to talk about, and I want some rants on what's going on here in Rhode Island with the governor stuff. So, I'm going to post a link in the chat room here. There's the Rumble link. So when we end this, guys, click on that link and head over to our Rumble channel. And because, again, it's stuff we can't say on YouTube. So Wednesdays, we're going to be doing this from now on. We're going to do half the show on YouTube and half the show on Rumble because we need to build that Rumble channel up, too. So please go head over there to there. And what we're going to do is a quote of the day brought to you by MidstateGuns.com. It's Rhode Island's largest indoor shooting range located in Coventry, Rhode Island. So Alexander Hamilton, one of the founding fathers, he said, when a government betrays the people by amassing too much power and becoming tyrannical, the people have no choice but to exercise their original right of self-defense to fight the government. That's from the founding fathers. I don't know how many of them, especially Thomas Jefferson. I mean, he said all kinds of stuff like that. And FEMA, I got it in my documentary, The American Police State. FEMA was actually teaching law enforcement agencies that the founding fathers were terrorists. Literally. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I got it right in my documentary. If it's still up on YouTube. They actually took my show down about Nimrod and the New Babylon because they claimed I had some copyright in there. So I had to re-edit it, and we're going to re-premiere it next week. But, man, that's crazy, man. So, yeah, that's Alexander Hamilton. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do now, guys, is going to head over to our Rumble channel. So when you get a chance, guys, just click on that link and head over to Rumble. And I don't know if you have to have an account or not, but please just head over to that Rumble channel. And if you do have to sign up, I don't think you do, but it only takes a couple of seconds, you know what I mean, less than a minute to actually sign up for Rumble. So I hope and pray you guys do that. So, yeah, so, guys, we got a donate page here in the chat room. So if you guys want to help out operation, please do so. And just that's a donation page too, and PayPal, Venmo, and CashApp. So anyway, guys, we'll see you in about 5 minutes over at the other show. So God bless, shalom, and you are the resistance. declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com.